bright beauty. Every student matters.
Hello everyone, welcome to another lecture. In this class, we are going to begin with chapter 6 of class 6 English Grammar Nagaland Board, which is the verb and kinds of. Now in this chapter, dear students, we are going to learn about what is a verb. Okay? Now verbs, are used in every sentence. It would not be wrong to say that a verb is the soul of a sentence, because without a verb, a sentence does not have any meaning. So far, we've learned about nouns, that the nouns are the naming words, and the nouns. Describing words are the adjectives, but verbs are the doing words. So what are verbs? The doing. Okay. So verbs basically are those words which either tell us what action is taking place, or they talk about the state of being or possession. For example, Mary put the cups on the table. So when you're telling Mary to put the cups on the table, what is the action here? Put. So this is a verb. The bowler bowls the ball to the batsman. So what is the action that is taking place here? The bowler bowling. So this is a verb. The river is quite shallow. Here is a verb because it is talking about the state of being. If we discuss more examples, Shakespeare was the greatest dramatist. Again, was talks about the state of being. The nightingale has a sweet voice. What is this has? Possession. It tells us what is it that the nightingale has. These bungalows have beautiful flower gardens. Again, what is it that the bungalows possess or the bungalows have? Beautiful flower gardens. So basically a verb is an action word, or it can be a being word. What are the being words? Is, am, are, was, were. These are the being words. Or a verb can show possession. For example, has, have, and had. So a verb can either be an action word, or it can be a being word, or it can be a word which shows possession. This is how we define a verb. Now first, it is important for us to know how to identify the object of a verb. Now, if we have to identify the object of a verb, there are two questions that we can use. What and whom. Okay? Whenever we have to find out the object of a verb, we ask these two questions along with the verb, and the answer that we get is the object. For example, the painter paints a painting. Right? Let me put the question what with the verb. So, the painter paints what? And what is the answer that I'm getting? A painting, which is my object in the sentence. If I give you another example, he helps the needy. Now put the question whom in this sentence. He helps whom? And the answer is the needy, which is my object of the verb. If I give you another example, the television needs repairs. Ask the question now. The television needs what? And what is the answer that I get? Repairs, which is my object of the verb. So basically, if we have to find out the object of a verb, we ask two questions in the sentence, putting the verb before it. Those two questions are what and whom. The answers that I get to these two questions are my object. Right? Now, not every sentence can have an object. And on the basis of the presence of an object or an absence of an object, the sentence can be divided into, the verb can be divided into two types. Transitive verbs and intransitive verbs. Transitive verbs are those that need an object to make complete sense. They are transitive objects. And what are intransitive verbs? Intransitive verbs are those that do not need an object. To make sense. For example, if I say Karan flies kites. Okay? Ask the question, Karan flies what? What is the answer I get? Kites, which is my object. So I have an object in this sentence. That means it is a transitive verb. Flies is a transitive verb because it needs an object next to it. If I give you another example, the coach has a bat. Ask the question again. The way I've told you, the coach has what? And the answer is a bat, which is my object. Since my verb needed an object to complete it, therefore it is a transitive verb. Okay? If I give you more examples, if I give you the example of the intransitive verb now, if I say, I pray. Do I have an object in this sentence? No. Because even if I ask the question, I pray what or I pray whom, there is no answer that I'm getting to any of these two questions asked. So this does not have an object, but the sentence is absolutely correct. It is making sense. So this is what? This is an intransitive verb. So pray is an intransitive verb. If I give you another example, if I say they sing well. Do I have an object in this sentence? No. My verb is sing, which does not have an object next to it. But the sentence is making absolute sense. So what is this? Sing. This sing is an intransitive verb. So if the verb needs an object to make sense, it is a transitive verb, and if it does not need an object to make sense, it is an intransitive. For example, okay. So let us look at these sentences. So the woman filled the pail with water. What is the verb in the sentence? Filled. Filled what? The answer is the pail, which is the object. So what is this verb filled? This verb filled is a transitive verb, right? If I give you another example, the second one, look at the second one. He kneeled to pray. What is the verb in the sentence? Kneeled. He kneeled what? Do I have an answer? He kneeled whom? Do I have an answer? No. So that means there is no object in the sentence. And yet the sentence is making absolute sense. So this verb kneeled is an intransitive verb because it does not need an object to make sense. Let us look at more examples. Gas and coal are fuels. Gas and coal are. Now what is this are? This are is a link verb. Link verb is a verb which needs a noun or an adjective next to it to complete. These link verbs are incomplete without a noun or an adjective. For example, if I say, the girl is, don't you think I need something along with this is so that the sentence can be completed? The girl is beautiful. The girl is kind. The girl is sweet, so on and so forth. If I give you another example, I grow what? Not have an answer. Plus, I grow is not making any sense at all. It is incomplete. It needs a noun or an adjective to complete it. For example, if I say I grow apples or I grow mangoes. Okay. If I give you another example, they smell. Again, it is not making complete sense. I need something to be added along with my verb so that the sentence is complete. If I say they smell fish or they smell food, they smelled dessert and so on and so on. So words like these are known as link verbs. What are the link verbs? So link verbs are those that need a complement to complete its sense. The link verbs are known as the verbs of incomplete predication. Why? Because they are not complete in themselves. They need a noun or an adjective to be added with them to make sense. Most of the cases, the complement of a link verb is either a noun or an adjective. So I am either going to use a noun or I am going to use an adjective in maximum cases along with a link verb. And these nouns and adjectives which are used along with a link verb are known as complement of a verb. Now let us look at the examples given in your book. boy flew kites. I have an object in the sentence, therefore it is transitive in nature. The bird flew away. I do not have an object in the sentence, yet the sentence is complete. So it is an intransitive verb. We grow roses in our garden. I have an object in the sentence which is used along with the verb grow. So it is a transitive verb. These plants grow fast. I do not have an object in the sentence with the verb, yet it is making sense. So this verb is intransitive verb. She wrote a letter. I have an object in the sentence which is a letter. It is making sense. It is required for the sentence to make sense. Therefore, it is transitive in nature. She writes well. The sentence is absolutely sensible. Plus, I do not have an object in the sentence. So, my verb is intransitive in nature. Right? So, if my verb needs an object to complete it, it is a transitive verb. If a verb does not need an object to complete it, it is an intransitive. Right? As I told you, the link verbs are also known as the verbs of incomplete predication or incomplete verbs. What are a few link verbs? Am, is, are, was, were, being, been. Other than them, the link verbs such as appear, seen, and become. In some cases, verbs such as feel, grow, look, taste, turn, smell, prove, come, fall, go, keep, sound. These are also link verbs. At times, the same verb can be used as all three. What are the three types of verbs that we have learned? A verb can either be transitive if it needs an object. It can be intransitive if it does not need an object. And it is a link verb if it needs a complement to complete it. Right? So in some cases, the same verb can serve the purpose of being transitive, intransitive, and link verb. For example, I felt the stones under my feet. What is the verb here? Felt. I have the object with the verb, therefore this verb is transitive. The dead cannot feel. What is the verb here? Feel, which does not have an object. Yet the sentence is absolutely correct. Therefore, it is an intransitive verb. We all felt sad at the bad news. So here, sad at the bad news, this is the complement of the verb, because if I would have written only we all felt, this did not serve any purpose at all. Similarly, can you smell smoke? Here I have the object smoke, therefore it is transitive in nature. I have a cold and can't smell. Here the verb is smell, does not have an object next to it, yet the sentence is complete. It is intransitive in nature. That fish smells bad. This is my verb which has an adjective next to it, and therefore it is a link. Alright? So therefore a verb can either be transitive, intransitive, or a link. Now that we know what is an object, there are a few sentences which can have two objects, out of which one is direct and the other is indirect in nature. For example, Ravi gave him a pen. Now we learnt that there are two ways of identifying an object. We ask the question what and whom, right? So Ravi gave what? A pen. This is an object. Ravi gave whom a pen? Him. So this also is an object, right? I have two objects in the sentence. Now, how to tell which one is a direct object and which one is an indirect object? Direct object is basically the name which is given to something. What is the name which is given to something here? A pen. This is the name given to something, so this is my direct object. And the person for whom something is done or to whom something is given is the indirect object, who is him here. So this is the indirect object. If I give you another example, my mother made me a pie. Okay. Again, made me what? A pie. So this is an object. My mother made whom a pie? Me. So this is also an object. I have two objects here. Now, which one is the direct? Direct object is the name that we give to something. And what is the name that we are talking about? A pie. So this is the direct object. And indirect object is something or someone, when something is given to somebody or the one who receives something from somebody is the indirect object, which is me who receives the pie. So this is how we differentiate between a direct and an indirect object. The teacher gave him a book, two objects, him and book. What is the name? A book. So that is a direct object. Who received the book? Him. So it is an indirect. The young man offered her a seat. Her and a seat are the two objects. What is the name given to something? A seat. So that is the direct object. And who was given the seat? Her. So that is an indirect. All right. Next, we also have auxiliary verbs and the main verb. Auxiliary verb is basically a helping verb that is used with a main verb or without a main. Okay, auxiliaries can be used either with or without the main verbs. In addition to the auxiliary verbs, the auxiliary verbs can either be your helping verbs such as is, am, are, was, were, has, have, had, or they can even be your modal verbs such as will, shall, can, could, may, might, and so on and so on. Let us look at their examples. I shall certainly help you. Here the auxiliary shall is used with the main verb help. She has applied for sick leave. Has is the auxiliary used with the main verb applied. You may come in. The auxiliary may is used with the verb come in. They are singing a song. The helping verb are is used with the verb singing. She can go now. The auxiliary can is used with the verb go. Alright, so all these auxiliary verbs are used with the main. Now let us learn about the strong and the weak. Weak verbs are those verbs that are formed, basically we can make a past tense of the weak verbs by adding ed or d or t to the present tense. Laugh changes to laughed, talk changes to talked, learn changes to learned. So those verbs that can have their past tense by adding ed, t or d to the end of it are known as weak verbs. And strong verbs are those that have their past tense by simply changing the vowel that is used in the present. Come becomes came, know becomes knew, give becomes gave, speak becomes spoke, fall becomes fell, and so on and so forth. Okay, so let us now look at the list of the weak of the strong verbs basically. Arise becomes arose, risen. Awake becomes awoke, awakened. Beat becomes beat, beaten. Bear becomes bore, born. Forgive becomes forgave, forgiven. Forgive becomes gave, given. Know becomes knew, known. Ride becomes rode, ridden. And in the similar format, you have a lot of strong verbs in your book, and we are supposed to learn all the three forms of the verbs, be it a strong or a weak verb. Okay. Also, we have some weak verbs. Bend becomes bent, bring becomes brought, build becomes built, burn becomes burnt, lie becomes lied, lose becomes lost, make becomes made, mean becomes meant, and so on and so forth. So again, just like the weak verbs, you have a list of the strong verbs also in your book. Now the following verbs that you can see on your screen have all the three forms as the same. Burst, 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 cost, 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 cut, 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 put, 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 rid, 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 shed, 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 shut, shut, shut. Then we have hit, 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 and all the different verbs that you can see on your screen. So these verb forms are to be remembered by you, dear students, because when we are going to learn about tenses, it is the usage of these verbs in their correct verb form that is going to help you in solving the questions on tenses, even in the active and passive voice and the direct indirect speech. So it is very important for us to learn the verb forms. And now let us move on to the discussion of back exercises. Find out the transitive, intransitive, and the link verbs in the sentences. Underline the object if the verb is transitive, and underline the complement if it is a link verb. Okay? There are 10 sentences. The first 3 have been done. We'll do the rest 7. Most people hate war. What is the verb? Hate. What is the object? War. So I have an object here. Therefore, hate is a transitive verb. He became a teacher. Here, became has a noun next to it. Right? So this is what? This is a link verb. He dropped a stone into the well. What is my verb? Dropped. What is my object in the sentence? A stone. So my verb has an object. Therefore, dropped is a transitive verb. Nalini bought a basket. So what is the object that I have in this sentence? Basket. So bought is a transitive verb. Rohan played cricket. What is my verb? Played. What is my object? Cricket. So again, played is a transitive verb. Birds fly in the air. Now in this sentence, my verb is fly, which does not have an object next to it, yet it is making sense. So it is an intransitive verb. The dog looks dangerous. This is my verb looks, and it has an adjective next to it. So looks is a link verb. Alright. The next question says, pick out the direct and the indirect object in the following sentences. The first one has been done. So out of 10, since the first one is done, we'll do the next 4. The teacher gave me a reward. What are the two objects? Me and a reward. Direct object is a name which is given to something. So what is the name which is given here? A reward. And whom? Who's the receiver of the reward? Me. So that is an indirect object. She gave him a pen. Two objects again, him and pen. What is the name of the object? A pen. So that is a direct object. And who received the pen? Him. So that is an indirect object. I offered him a cup of tea. Two objects, him and a cup of tea. What is the name given to something? A cup of tea. So this is my direct object. And who received the cup of tea? Him. So that is an indirect object. The teacher gave me my book. What is the name given here? My book. So this is the direct object. And who received the book? Me. So that is an indirect. Alright, like this we can do the rest of the sentences as well. Underline the auxiliary or the helping verbs in the following sentences. Very simple. The baby is sleeping. Has finished his work. I had slept before you came. I shall go. He was reading. You may go to the movie. She can come at any time. The bees were humming over the flowers. They will laugh at me. Rita had finished her food before the dessert came. Okay. The next question, tick the correct auxiliary verbs in the brackets and underline the main verbs. So, I shall come by your house the next morning. We are playing in the park. He can come whenever he has time. They have received the package. I may not be able to attend the event. Ravi's mother could not prepare for the party. We would all play together in the evening. I am celebrating my good performance. We must water plants every day. The children are not sitting quietly. Alright, so with this we come to the end of chapter number 6, which is verbs. I hope it was clear to you. I'm going to pause here now and we'll see you all soon in the next lecture. Thank you.